Miracle Suit is sculpting swimwear for typically like a slightly older demographic, so 45 plus, but we are looking to expand more into like postpartum as well and a younger demographic ideally. I think mobile conversion rate has definitely been a focus area for us. I work on the paid social side, so we're not directing a lot of traffic directly to PDPs unless we're doing something that's like a product feature or product highlight. But I think improving the PDP experience, especially on mobile, has been a focus for the team.
Cool. So starting out, what's that?
Is there anything else that would be helpful to share, helpful context?
Yeah, first off, where's most of your traffic coming from and what does like the ad account look like?
Yeah, I would say email, paid social, and paid search probably are the predominant traffic sources.
So chiefly Facebook, chiefly TikTok, what does that look like?
Yeah, chiefly Facebook. And when you say account structure, do you mean like campaigns are running?
Yeah, more in the sense that obviously you're not driving a lot of traffic to PDPs, but we're looking at a PDP, obviously. Where are you normally driving traffic to?
Typically collection pages, so new arrivals, bestsellers.
Got it. Okay, cool. On that note, I think as you're expanding into some of those other demos, particularly the younger ones, spinning up unique landing pages per campaign with model shots creative that match the demo you're going for, definitely something you should do. Even if it's just listicles, I find that the listicle templates work really well for a female demo, whether it's like younger or older, and you can just kind of get one listicle template together, kind of nail down the content and the value props about the product itself. And then when you spin up a new one, just duplicate the page and sort of edit the content as it would be relevant for each demo. And I think that almost always works better than just driving everyone to the same page, where obviously we have the same product page, the same model shots, where you kind of have to be all things to all people. And that's where the landing page side of things gets really powerful, is you find one page that works and then duplicate it, change the content. And it ends up being a little bit more scalable that way. So given that, also, I'm obviously not the target demo for this product. So Kanika, I might lean on you a little bit for some thoughts as we go through. But a few things here. First off,
every weekend, Ryan.
Yeah, you don't know me that well, I guess. So in terms of the PDP itself, I know it's difficult to like tighten up model shots when you're trying to show like a full piece of clothing. So even though I would love to say like make these like closer to square, closer to 4x3 to try and nudge up some of this other content, seeing the whole product probably makes more sense than any of that. So I'm cool with this. In here, you can likely tighten up some of this padding, like little small things. If you have reviews for individual swimsuits, I'm assuming that all of these are different products within Shopify and they're each like different prints or different colors. What you can do in a lot of the apps is sort of combine reviews. So essentially all of the products that are the same cut or the same product, however you want to define it, combine all the reviews so you don't have just a blank star rating in here. I think having some more social proof in the buy box is always a good call. The size guide. I keep jumping around when I click. I don't know if that's the site or just my browser here. Size guide's good. Some of this content down here, where you have it wrapped up into these accordions, I think it would do a lot for this page if you take some of this out of the individual product descriptions and build content sections underneath it. What I mean by that is, say fit and size. If instead you take this fit and size content and make a block that's maybe a carousel of, different body shapes wearing the swimsuits, you can kind of see how it fits individual people. The fit piece has always been something that we push on with apparel brands, and it always ends up driving more conversions. At the end of the day, it's just like, it's such a personal decision, right? And particularly with apparel in D2C, where you're so worried about getting something in the mail, it's not going to fit, you have to send it back, it becomes a whole thing. Creating as much clarity you can around that has done a lot for other brands that we've worked with. So it's fit, fabric and care, same thing. If you could add some imagery around this, washing machine images, just like people using the product, touching the product, showing some textures like close-up shots, I think that would improve the experience a lot. And what's in more details? Yeah, it's a product description. So some of this stuff can stay in these just like text-based product descriptions. I would shorten this up maybe. I think, as Kanika said, 3 or 4 points, I think would reduce some fatigue in here. Because when you get below this buy box, all of a sudden it is a lot of text. I would try really hard just to tighten this up to what you think the most important things are. And if you want to be a little bit more objective about it, just read as many reviews as you can. Look at your post-purchase survey data if you have that plugged in. Just take the things that people are talking about the most and put those into the product description. Inevitably, I think that's the best way to get the data that you need. Beyond that, it doesn't look like there's a ton of content here in general. And honestly, as you were describing the brand and the mission, the demo, and how it's, you know, for you're trying to move into postpartum, you're trying to move into, or you're currently doing like older demos who it may be more like a shapewear kind of play. Taking some of this stuff from the homepage, even if you just want to make it really simple, this slim sculpt shape content section, just like copy this, put it below the content or below the product description on your PDP. Just try and tell that story all in one place rather than relying on people to kind of click throughout the site and almost treating your PDP a little bit more like a landing page. I think you get a ton of mileage then out of your PDPs. Because inevitably, like, people just come here, whether it's from emails, whether it's from other own traffic sources. Your PDPs need to do a lot of heavy lifting even before you start running landing pages. So I always try and operate under the assumption that they hit the page, they can buy if they want. If they're not sure, they can keep scrolling and kind of get more of the product story. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah. I think, is there a risk of going too far in the other direction of having kind of like you were talking about a balance between having too much information that maybe is overload and makes them just kind of leave in the moment? Is there a risk of that?
Yes, I think, I mean, like anything else, you got to test it, right? But I think no matter what, because, you know, this normal like e-com buy box above the fold convention is so strong, people know how to buy stuff on our product page at the end of the day. So I worry less about that, because if they're not that interested in it, they're just not going to scroll as far. And you can corroborate that by watching, you know, your screen recordings, looking at heat maps and see kind of like how far down the page people are getting. And if you're seeing that, you know, your scroll depth is pretty good, but bounce rate is high, then maybe it's time to take some content sections off and tighten everything up. And then you're in a position where you can then see what people are clicking on, interacting with in heat maps, then move that stuff to a landing page that maybe it's a listicle that they hit before the product page. You know, or maybe you put it in other parts of the funnel too. So like everything else, you got to test it.